Silvestri, you are in the arena. What time do you go on?
I go on at 5:15.
All
I'm
right.
the first comic.
Ooh,
I mean, there's a host to kind of warm them up and, do what a host does, but then it's just me in a hockey arena full of people waiting for the people after me.
No.
Yeah,
no, that's not true.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Because they're there to see you.
They are, yes. They're totally, and they're all gonna, if all goes well, they're gonna leave after me and be like, that's all we like.
Yeah.
And I want every other comic to be like, damn, I can't follow Max Silvestri.
Ever.
And there's no one here, so this sucks. That's my dream, is to make other comics resent me more.
All right, well, we'll work on that. So
Cool.
You are friends with Ken Reed?
I am. We started together in Boston in 2004.
He worked at FNX with us.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love him.
He's amazing. He is the most obsessive person I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, you know about his podcast?
Yes, and his TV guide, Craziness.
He has 3 copies of every TV guide ever made, and what he does is he'll do this podcast where he'll just ask you to pick from 3, from when you were a kid, and you'll be like, and then you go through and kind of make jokes about what the lineup was that night, ABC, they had this show, but he knows everything. If you're like, oh, I remember Knight Rider had this thing, he's like, no, actually not till season 2 and season 1, Knight Rider, he is
spent a lot of time in his bedroom.
I think so. I'm sure it's stems from a childhood trauma, but in the best way. You know, all great art comes out of a horrible youth.
And what was your horrible youth?
Mine was fine.
Okay.
It was really nice, so now I have to lie and kind of make it seem like it's worse. No, I'm not a douche. I just have to really make it sound like my life's bad so that people can connect with me, you know?
You went to Brown?
I did, yeah.
And how was that?
I mean, it was very fun. It was I was actually doing shows in Providence this weekend, and it happened to be graduation weekend there, and so I did a jogging tour of all the places I lived that I did drugs in alone. So it was fun to just see all the different ways that I took my parents' money and rolled it up in a giant piece of paper and smoked it.
But you graduated.
I managed, yeah, with a lot of government debt, and
you balanced the scales a little bit.
It somehow all worked out. Where
you got out.
They financially would not let me drop out because they still wanted my money and the government's money. So it was great. No, it was a blast. I just felt bad for all these excited parents who were there on campus to watch their kids graduate. I'm like, if you had any idea what your kids have been doing with all your hard work and cash,
I have a friend who's there now. Her son's graduating, and her other son graduated 2 years ago from Brown. I love Brown. I think it's a beautiful campus.
It's a wonderful campus.
And
Providence is hopping right now.
Great.
Yeah, it's a fantastic city.
They made it into something cool and fun. Not that it wasn't, but there was a while there was a little.
It was a dark energy for a little bit. You took a wrong turn, and you just felt like.
Yeah, you're in Coventry.
Yeah, exactly.
My
mom came down yesterday because I'm from outside Boston, and she moved to Shrewsbury a few years ago. And look, Shrewsbury's lovely. I love Worcester, but she was like, I almost moved to Providence instead, and I was like, I wish you'd. I'd visit you more if you lived in Providence.
Yeah.
I want to go to Shrewsbury.
Good restaurants.
Shout out Shrewsbury.
Nice.
What's up?
Where do you live now?
I live in Los Angeles.
Oh, and
yeah.
So how is that? Is that kind of a culture shock for East Coast kid?
Yeah. I mean, I miss the seasons, and I'm going to die in an earthquake, but...
Have you been through an earthquake?
I keep sleeping through them. I take Ambien every night and wear earplugs because there's a bird outside my window that never stops chirping, so I, sleep like the dead, like a drugged person, because I am. So I've missed 2 morning earthquakes where I wake up and look on Twitter, and people are like, did you feel that? That was 4.0 in the valley. And I'm like, I had no idea. Like a baby, I slept.
And you're not supposed to hang anything up on the walls.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to. They sell this glue that you're supposed to put on the back of pictures. But I'm like, what? I mean, it's not like my house is. If it falls down and kills me, I don't care if the little porcelain figures are still okay on the shelves. It falls or it doesn't. But yeah, people are very. People are very just prepared to have it happen there, and I've never lived with that. Here on the East Coast, we're kind of lucky.
You're like, whatever, it might hurricane, it might snow, it might be sunny, or everything all in the same day.
Yeah, and we can get through it totally, but out there they're like, oh yeah, probably 4 to 10 years from now we're gonna die in a fiery earthquake. And you're
all
like,
right,
cool,
so before,
cool.
Listen, before then, just move back.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel like I deserve to die in a fiery. I feel like the weather's so nice that I think I deserve as a human to have every day of the rest of my life be sunny and beautiful out. So I'm like, 5 years will be enough. I'll die tan and happy when I'm 39. That's the dream. Yeah.
When you are out and about, do you see tons of famous people? And when you do, are you sort of awestruck, or are you over it?
I mean, I'm always text my girlfriend about it and just be like, DJ Qualls was deciding between two types of soup or whatever at Trader Joe's, but it's like, it's pretty like everyday and boring. Yeah. But I'm still like, I've only been there 2 years, so I'm still like, I still get excited when I see fancy people like arguing with a valet or whatever. They have to do all the same bullshit we do. It's great. Yeah.
Except they have more money and probably can, after they're a douche to him, give them.
Yeah, but they're just, I feel like in life you're just always climbing up the tree, and then when you get to the top of the tree, there's nothing up there. Like there's no. They have the same problems we have. Yeah. They just think they're more important.
That makes me feel better, sort of.
I really went hard on celebrity culture there. Wow.
So, you used to work in a museum?
I did.
Did you work at MoMA?
Mm-hmm.
So, and now...
For 7 years to the day.
But that's cool. Did you, Wilco does all those shows at MoMA and
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, it is cool. I worked in a windowless basement underneath the lobby in a cubicle fixing computers. So, the first 2 weeks I had the job, I'm like, I moved to New York City, and every day I get off the subway, and I walk into one of the greatest museums in the world, into the lobby, so much energy, tourists, beautiful people, and then I would take an elevator into the basement where they, fixed pipes and, stored old clocks, in a supply room and fixed computers. So the next 6 years and 10 months were, slightly less... cool.
That's a long time to be in a basement.
It's a long time to be in a basement just turning gray.
But do you on the road, I heard that you like to go to different art museums.
I do. It is it's very easy when you're touring and only in a city for one night to just basically have a big breakfast, take a nap till showtime, drink, and go to bed and not see any daylight. So when I was on the road this year touring with John Mulaney, we would try to go for an hour to see the museum in the city, because it's usually in a cool part of town. They usually have something. Even small cities have cool collections, and I don't like art that much, but it's 1 hour makes me feel oh, I took a couple Instagram pictures. I'm living a human life.
You're
now I'm
gonna
go
something.
take a nap and do all the things I said.
Now, do you have a favorite museum?
Do I have a favorite museum? I guess even though I had a love-hate 7-year relationship with it, I think the MoMA is one of the coolest places to just get lost in. I also was very lucky. It used to not be open on Tuesdays, and as an employee you could walk around the galleries fully empty on a Tuesday, and there was no better first date activity than being you should come on your lunch break and I can
show you around.
Yeah. Well, the security guard stares at us. I mean, there's still security guards, but there's no other people.
And then tell me about your cooking thing that you hosted your own cooking competition or something. Are you a cook?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not
Are you
great
a Renaissance man?
I mean,
a little art, a
I'm
little cooking,
bad at
a
a
little...
lot of things. I spread it around. I'm a jack of no trades.
Yeah.
No, I had a couple food shows. I hosted this competition show on Bravo for a year that nobody watched. And I had 2 other shows that also nobody watched, so now I don't do cooking shows anymore.
All right.
I gave America 3 shots to see if they liked me doing that, and they were no. So
you're just moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you on tour?
I'm on tour now. This weekend kind of finishes the tour for a bit, and I'm writing on the new season of Big Mouth, and
that's on
working in
Netflix,
LA.
right?
Yeah, that's on Netflix.
All right.
Very dirty and funny. I feel like people should check it out. Nick Kroll, John Mulaney, Jason Mantzoukas, Jenny Slate. It's about middle school kids going through puberty, and it is very explicit.
Jenny Slate was supposed to be on the bill and now isn't.
She's not, unfortunately.
Yeah, she's in production or something.
Yeah, I think she's in Norway right now.
She's from here.
She is. She's from, grew up in Milton, Mass. We've done Thanksgivings together, our families, where we my mom will come with me to Thanksgiving with her family. And one year, her grandmother, who speaks English as a third language, was so sweet to us at Thanksgiving, my mom and I. And I'd made this dessert, and the next day, her sister, Jenny's sister, was talking to her grandmother and was but you liked what Max cooked. And she's Max? Who's Max? Do you mean Hat? And they were what? And he was with his wife, Pat. My mom looks exactly like me, but 35 years older. And so her grandmother thought that we were a married couple named Hat and Pat.
That's a good Thanksgiving.
Wonderful memory, yeah.
All right, Max Silvestri, thank you very much for coming by. Our broadcast brought to you by Miller Lite and Dunkin' Donuts.